Hello, welcome to C&T Collectibles. This is Friday Sports Card Chart Blast, where we look at the price action of our favorite collectibles in a different location here. So we'll try and get me out of here early, anyways. So nice little night for a cruise here. So we'll see if we can wrap this up and get you what you need here. So baseball cards look really, really interesting at the present time. A lot of cards had a really great week, and we'll see if that is a bottom or not. Only time will tell, but maybe there's a few things that can give us some hints. And we'll start out as always with Mike Trout and a PSA 10. Got to start off with the big dog because everyone's going to follow that. No card in the modern era go back a while is going to be worth than a Mike Trout card. So as he goes down, other prices are going to have to go down with it. As he goes up, then it creates room for other cards to go along with it. Momentum is turning up in the short term. We've seen that in the past, and it hasn't really held. Downtrend is still intact here, and you can see that we had a little fake breakout here. This was a monster move here from that 3,000 area up to about 3,600, 3,700. Recently, I think that was about 3,650 or something like that. And so we've seen this before in a downtrend. You had a fake break, and it brings you back down to the bottom of the range really quickly. So you see some sells here, but they're holding this area here, this line of support, where we've had a lot of buying in the past here. And so if enough of the Mike Trout bulls can step in and just defend this area, they can start to overwhelm people that at this point aren't interested in selling anymore, and that's what we're looking for, more demand than there is supply here. So the trend is still down, momentum is still negative, but it is turning up, but we really want to see some sustained buying in this area here. So I think it's super interesting. If you are looking for a tryout in a high grade here, then this is kind of your line in the sand. So, as always, manage your risk, and this will help you do that. But things are getting interesting, as we will see with other cards as well. PSA 9, same thing. You have a pretty well-defined downtrend here, but again, it's hitting that area that there was some buying before here. So as long as it can stay above this, and there's a lot of buying in here, prices can start to curl back up, and then maybe we'll get a break out of this range here. So, I mean, that's a long ways to go still. So, but this looks like you're a potential bottom for now. So we'll see if that is indeed the case. Again, you manage your risk here. So if it drops below here, then you're looking at probably something in that $900 range. Mookie Betts, trend is down, momentum is down, but starting to flatten out just a little bit. We had our sell in the kind of the $800 area, so our patience has been rewarded here, but we'll see what happens. So it did sneak into this range here. A lot of names are kind of tagging the top and messing around, but this one did sneak in the range. We're looking for a quick hit down to $300. Got that. Now you're starting to see some buying come back in. All right, Vlad Guerrero, PSA 10 in the no number. Momentum is rolling over here, and you can see that the trend, while it's up, in the short term is sitting at the bottom of the range. So that's pretty interesting. But again, with that momentum rolling over, any drop below this could take you down to the $175 area, and there's probably a lot of profit to be protected in that one here. So we'll look at the Chrome version as well. You can see slight uptrend, top of the range, coming off just a little bit here. So we'll see if Vlad can hang on. Again, it could leak a little bit further here, but you can see money coming out of those higher end names just to try and come back to some of those lower price cards. Perhaps people just taking a little bit of profit while they still have it. Shohei Ohtani in the PSA 10, this is his update. Momentum is up. The trend is up here as well, but getting rejected a bit at its previous high here. So kind of flat and sideways for the time being, and you can see that your risk reward is pretty well defined here. So a little bit more risk than there is reward for the time being, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, you could see a pretty nice price rise. So after this consolidation, we were looking for something like $230, and we got it, and this was in the 160 area. And so you have another consolidation pattern that could measure up to about 270, 280, and so there's potential upside as long as it just consolidates for a bit, attracts some buyers, and then blows out. But this is a pretty strong momentum uptrend here. So this is the rookie debut hitting variation, and you can see it's kind of at the top of the range as well. So some of those cards that have attracted a lot of attention, like the Vlads, the Ohtanis that have done really, really well, again, we could see some profit taking on this one. So risk reward is not favorable in the hitting one, as this one is putting in some new highs and absolutely ripping. So busting above this and staying there would be very bullish, but for the time being, your risk reward is not very favorable. Acuna, this is the bat down. Again, he hit the top of this range here, so this is where your buying and selling was, and you got a nice bounce. So some cards leak into it, some cards are holding on just fine. So big move this week. It's not very heavily traded by any stretch here, but we could see a nice breakout. This compression downwards does lead to upside breakouts at some point. So as long as we see a couple more buys in here, now this is a one sale move here, so not a lot of volume on this one. But if it's able to hold this, then you could see some higher prices up to that, perhaps that $3,000 level. The update right regular boring update for the rest of us schmoes here. So pretty interesting. Again, momentum is flattening out, and you're at the bottom of the kind of the longer term range here. We had your bottom. This was what last fall. This is the October-November area, I think. And then you had your monster move here. So as long as we're able to kind of hold in here, this momentum can start to turn up a bit. That would be a very good sign. But as of now, the risk reward sets up pretty favorably. If it leaks below this, then again you're looking at $70 Acuna. But we're not there yet. It's holding in just fine for the time being. All right, Juan Soto, PSA 10, momentum still trending lower. You are seeing the prices trend lower as well. They're kind of in this zone in that currently $135, so $125, $130 area was kind of our target if it wasn't able to hold this area, that 160, 170 area. Honestly, we had you out above 300, line in the sand at 280. So again, patience being rewarded here, and looks interesting coming up on the bottom portion of a longer-term trend channel here. So the risk reward is favorable on Juan Soto, but the trend and the momentum do remain down. And Fernando Tatis in the PSA 10, again, bottom of the range here, having a terrific season here. This is a great looking, what shoulder injury, right? It looks awesome. So momentum trending up just a little bit here, which is kind of good to see, even though the things are going sideways. So this could be kind of a harbinger of buyers in the short term coming into to pick this up right where they need to, and see if we can get a little bit of lift off in Fernando Tatis. But the thing we have to keep in mind as well, that currently sitting at $175. These things are priced off of each other. That's how you value cards. So Mike Trout sitting at 3,600, Mookie Betts sitting, around that 350, 360 area. Mookie Betts is usually around 8 to 10 times, or Mike Trout is going to cost you about 8 to 10 times as much as a Mookie Betts rookie. And Mookie is really the next guy up for, the Hall of Fame track. And so when you get to a lot of these other players here, should they be priced like Mookie Betts, or should they be some multiple of that, half of it or something like that? So, as the Vlads and these guys start to get up to $300, should they be that close to Mookie, considering the track that he's on? So we'll kind of have to keep that in the back of our mind here. Topps Chrome, Aaron Judge, number 169, having a terrific season, bottom of the range, messing around just a little bit. So in the shorter term, trend is down, longer term trend is up, and you're at a pretty good risk reward area for Aaron Judge. And again, when he's healthy, he's a monster, and he's healthy this year, and he's a monster. So longer term track, because of the injury history, could be a little bit more in question here. His Hall of Fame track is no longer in question. Trend is down, but you're getting a nice bounce off the bottom of the range. Now you're getting rejected at the top of the range here. So the risk reward is pretty well defined here, and I think there's a lot of buying in this area here. So I think, again, a lot of these names, I think they may not rocket back up to where they are, but I think there's enough interest that they'll just at least chop, and the bulk of the decline is likely over for now. Maybe that could change, but Ozzie Albies, Topps Chrome All-Star Ozzie Albies. So you have your compression, bottom of the range getting a little bit of a lift here. So there's a little bit of indecision in the market here. We'll see if we can get a move up above this. That'd be great for the Ozzie Albie Bulls, and below this the Bears. And I would say, if it does come back down to $30-$40, that is your opportunity here. So risk reward, a lot of indecision, don't know which way it goes, but this is a young player on a very, very interesting track. Jose Ramirez, PSA 10, bottom of the range, getting a little bit of lift here. Another, not quite as young as Ozzie, but but he's been doing a great job over, with top 5 MVP 3 of the last 4 years, and these are the kind of players that you want to see. So we could put his price relative to a lot of other players right now, and if he's going to be compared to the Lindors and Machados of the world, then Jose Ramirez remains cheap. All right, a couple guys that are on their way back here, so we got to keep an eye on them here. Luis Robert, you have your long-term consolidation. The move is going to be $50 either way, $200 or $50, and we broke down and got $50. The injury didn't help things at all, but this broke down before the injury. He was still playing, and he was actually playing at a pretty high level, but people didn't really think that, and so $50 is the key here, and actually snuck down to 37, something like that, right on this spike here, but it was recaptured. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation, and I think as things start to ramp up a little bit, he's broken his downtrend here, so he'll go sideways. And as things start to ramp up in terms of his recovery and rehab and all that kind of stuff, you could see those prices rise again here, especially if he starts performing well on those rehab trips. And his White Sox brother, Eloy Jimenez, cleared for baseball activities and could be back in fairly short order here. So bottom of the range, and we're starting to get a little bit of lift off here. So tried to break out a little bit, but coming back down. And again, for $40, there's worse players that you could buy here. Move on to a little bit of basketball here. 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan PSA 8, downtrend broken. And so again, when you break these, uptrend or downtrend, you can go, mostly you just see kind of sideways action here. So, and that's what we're seeing on this one. And he's again kind of hanging onto the top of the range here. So not much to be done at this time. If you're looking at this card, then yeah, here it is, but manage your risk. If it starts to leak below, whatever that is here, it's like 8,000, 7,500 or something like that. So if it leaks below that, then be prepared for, $5,000 or something. But, you can be prepared. So if it breaks below this range here, I follow this card every week. So if it starts to leak back in here and hold a little bit, then I can save you, a grand or two on that one. So Luka Doncic, downtrend, and then a more pronounced downtrend. So we had a 665 target. That was like your last Fibonacci retrace at the 72% level here, and starting to go sideways and hang on to that a little bit here. So 738 getting a little bit of a lift. So we'll see what happens here. Momentum still remains down and it's really kept you out for a while, going back to like 1600 when we first had that cross. And so there's been some moves that have been kind of interesting, but nothing solid yet. And so this isn't much of a timing mechanism, but does keep you in the major part of the trend here. So if this does kind of break out, you're not going to get a buy signal right away. You're not going to catch the bottom. So as I said, it remains to be seen, but for now, kind of the trend does remain down. But there's a lot of buying here. Well, there's a lot of buying on the way here, and there's a lot of cards to buy. So we'll kind of see what happens. Again, we'll just kind of watch that one week to week, but it's at a spot where I think there's enough interest here. So Giannis, someone has to help me out with this one. I thought he tore his knee or something, and now he's playing in the finals. So trend remains down. Hurt himself, and then he's playing again, and now he's in the finals. I don't know. So anyways, trend remains down on that one, but there's an area here where there's some buying, but that seems kind of expensive for that guy. So what do I know? I don't know enough about that. I just know what the price is doing, and right now it's still continuing downwards. And Devin Booker, he's also playing in the finals here. So a little fake break at the top. I don't know what a fake break is, but all right, bottom of the range, fake break. Takes you to the top of the range. Fake break at the top of the range. It could bring you to the bottom of the range. Who knows? That's a big move, and that's kind of aggressive. So we'll just look at the shorter term here. It's at an interesting spot, and as long as it can hang on to that, the trend remains up. But if you can't hold on to this one, then yeah, you're falling down, and it's going to cost you a couple $100 here. So if this is somebody I need to look at every week for you, you let me know. I'm willing to do that. All right, couple football here. Baker Mayfield, trend is up, hanging on that $400 area it needs to hang on to. So you're at a critical juncture here. So it does make sense for you to hit the top of the range and then come back to the bottom of the range, kind of at this intersection here. So let's see what kind of buyers step in to defend that, and if we can get a move up here. But any sales below this will probably bring out some more sellers, and you could see a $300 card. So who knows how that plays out, but for now, people that are interested in this card and want to hold on and get that price up, pretty important area here. Josh Allen PSA 10, top of the range, trend is down, getting close to the bottom of the range here. So again, still trending downwards, but getting like most of these cards, kind of in an area of confluence here. So they're at least interesting. You just got to keep watching, and if you are interested in a lot of these cards, then just kind of manage your risk. And I'm just trying to outline that for you here. Dak Prescott, consolidating. So big move up, not a lot of volume on the way down. Not a lot of people were selling, but the ones that did were willing to take whatever they could get. Just probably these people right here, like, oh my god, give me something here. And so pretty good buying in this area here, and now you're just consolidating. So there's some indecision, so there could be a little bit more downside here, and eventually you're going to run out of room and make your move up or down. So I don't know which way it goes, but I lean towards a break up if he's ready to go for the season and looks good in training camp, like most of these guys. So that's really the Cinderella season, is like, all right, the speculation, and then when rubber meets the road, then there's probably only like a handful of guys that are going to do well. So all right, upper deck, Braden Point Young Guns finish up here with a couple of hockey. Tampa Bay wins their second in a row, and sitting here in the state of hockey, it's kind of like, what the heck? Braden Point, though, this is a big time name, bottom of the range, top of the range, pretty thinly traded, but now you're kind of at the bottom of the range, and you can just manage your risk reward on this one. Below this, so it comes down even further. And but as it stands right now, risk reward is favorable. And Andre, I can't pronounce that one. And see, so your upside is 137.50, and your downside is 137.50. So here's your range, and here's your trend, and here's where you're at. There's one sale. So anyways, I think that was the only Tampa Bay Lightning on there. So Connor McDavid. So let's throw in one of the big young guns. A lot of sideways action, bottom range coming off again. So your range is really like $4,000 on the upside, $3,000 on the downside. So watch that. A break either way is $1,000. So if you have that card, pay attention. So all right, we'll finish it up here with Blastus. Trend remains down. So A lot of consolidation, but it is slightly down here. So here's your risk reward, top of the range coming off again. So we've had the peaks here, and here's your support, and then back to it, and you're just kind of ping ponging around. So who knows which way it goes, but a break either way will be likely a much bigger move. But we're not quite there yet. But you can sell here, buy here until that changes. So that's what I got for you. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll be back on a normal schedule next week. We'll do the 3 up and 3 down on Monday, and this on Friday, and something on Wednesday. I don't know what it is. Trying to get Tommy involved here. So take care. Thanks for watching, and bye now.